first thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's turned on. Just flick the switch. Now some lights are going to show up here. You're going to wait until they calm down, and then you're ready to go. We do have a mute button. When you hit the mute button, the system is on electrically, but we've muted the microphones and the speakers so that no sound or any reverberation is coming through at this time. It's just the natural acoustics of the space. We start at the top with the small space being the practice room, and then we move to the largest space down here at the bottom with the arena setting. If you'd like more details of what each button means and what it relates to, please consult your user manual. As well, there is also a volume control up, down on the side here. It goes from 0 to 30. Our default presetting is somewhere on 24 or 25, depending upon the environment that you're in. You can adjust it to your ear, whatever fits you best, over here onto the side. So in order to change your environment, all you really have to do is select it, and you will notice the yellow light moves from button to button. And you also want to make sure that your system is off mute at that time so that you can really hear the acoustics. Now let's talk about the record playback options. So looking at these top 6 buttons, each system is pre-established with at least 2 hours or up to 9 tracks, whichever comes first, of record playback options. You will notice that your track number is selected here and the time frame is located next to it. Now you will notice on this track, being track 1, that we have all these dashes. A dash means that's an open space. So if I was doing a record playback, I know that track 1 is available for me. But as we move, by hitting the select button to move to the next track, you will notice that a time pops up and then it goes to 0, signifying that there is already a pre-recorded track in that setting. So in order to hear that track, I simply hit play. To stop the track, I simply hit the stop button. Now our forward and reverse buttons move the track either forward and reverse by 10-second increments. We can continue to select tracks just by hitting that select button. Now I'm going to go back to track 1 so that we can have an experience recording. When I am ready to record, you simply hit that record button. You continue talk, playing, or do whatever it is that you need to do. In order to stop, I simply hit the stop button. And then you will notice that I have my zeros on the clock again, signifying that there is a track in that space. Now that I have this track, I've moved it, I've done whatever it is that I need to do. Maybe it's been a bad track and I just want to get rid of it. In order to do that, there are actually 2 options to delete a track. Option 1, you can hit both rewind and fast forward at the same time, and it will clear the track. Our second option, all you have to do is simply hold down the stop button for a few seconds until you notice those dashes come back. Looking at the bottom of the control panel here, you will notice 3 ports. These ports are set up for you to access your foot pedal, a record out function, and also your USB. Now the foot pedal is an add-on feature that we have here at Wenger. If you are a violinist or a saxophone player and it's hard to get your hands ready, we do offer a foot pedal option, which basically mirrors the top 3 buttons of the control panel with stop, record, and play. The middle option, being the record out, is for any sort of external recording device. I would recommend referring to your instruction manual for more information. Third, we do have our USB port. This port is what you're going to use to import and export tracks off of the VAE system onto another device or computer. Now our system is set up for the USB-B port, and then you will need whatever side fits your computer or device, whether it be USB-A or whatever you may need. For more information on that, you may need to consult the user guide for that device. Now let's take a moment to talk about importing and exporting off of the VAE software. If you are trying to export a file off of the VAE SoundLok system, please make sure you plug in your USB cord. You will then notice a folder pop up onto your computer with the Wenger folder. Open that and simply highlight the track you want to export and click and drag that to your desktop. Once it has finished exporting, you may safely eject the hardware by right-clicking and hitting eject. From there, you should be able to play the track on whichever media player you have as your default program. On here we have Windows Media Player. You may need to adjust that based on whichever software you're using. If you are not happy with the name, you may always rename the file by right-clicking, highlighting Rename, and typing in whatever you like. Now let's take a moment to talk about importing onto the VAE system. Again, plug in the USB cord and the Wenger folder will pop up. Then simply click and drag the file you want into the folder. Wait for it to finish importing, and then you may safely eject the folder. You will notice that the file did not pop up on the VAE system. This is because it was not labeled correctly. It does need to be labeled Session 1, Session 2 in the numeric for the number, as you see listed here. If that does happen, you may open the folder again, select the file, and then hit delete on the keypad to remove it from the folder. You will then need to rename the file to, again, Session 1, Session 2, whichever track you want it to be, and then simply click and drag it into the folder. Once it has completed, you then may safely eject the hardware again by right-clicking and selecting Eject. You will now notice the track is displayed on the VAE system. Thank you so much. This has been a brief tutorial of VAE SoundLok. If you have any further questions, please consult your user manual for more details.